Hello everybody and welcome to the third of 3 videos on the Spyro REIGNITED trilogy, in which we'll be getting all 105 achievements across the 3 games. In the last 2 videos we obtained all 36 achievements in Spyro 1 and all 29 achievements in Spyro 2. If you've watched either of them, you'll already know that this video won't be a 100% guide for every single collectible in the game, although I will be showing you some of the more difficult to get secrets and eggs. This video will be covering Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon, and it has the final 40 achievements in the game, spread across 4 hub worlds, 24 levels, 4 boss fights, and 5 bonus levels. There are no missable achievements as with the other 2 games. You can always quit out of the stage to try again if you muck it up. However, there are some achievements which can bug out, so if an achievement doesn't pop for you, that might be what you need to do, sadly. Without further ado, let's start our playthrough. It's the Year of the Dragon in the Dragon Worlds, and there are eggs everywhere, but sadly some shady characters show up and steal them, and it's up to us to get them all back. The shady characters in question are our main villain, the Sorceress, and her apprentice, Bianca. After learning about the Forgotten Worlds, we head off in pursuit of our 150 dragon eggs to our first hub world, Sunrise Spring. The hub worlds in Spyro 3 are similar to the other games, with gems and collectibles and portals to the main levels in the game. The levels we can go to from here are Sunny Villa, Shiela's Alp, Cloud Spires, Molten Crater, Seashell Shore, and Mushroom Speedway. Beating every level apart from the Speedway will reward us with the hot air balloon for us to reach the boss and then World 2. The only other thing to note here is this mysterious signboard, which we'll come back to later. There are 5 eggs we can get here, 1 near the start, 1 for a platforming tutorial with Hunter, no achievement this time though, 1 for a simple Superfly challenge, 1 for head bashing this rock, and 1 in the water around Seashell Shore. The hub world achievements across the game, bar 1, are all story related, as they all ask us to pay our old pal Moneybags to release his prisoner, unlocking a new character and their own level. For Sunrise Spring, we will be getting the monies in the bag for paying Moneybags 300 gems to free Shiela the kangaroo. There are more than enough gems we can obtain in just the hub world to pay Moneybags, so this is more than likely the first achievement you'll get, unless you run straight into a level. Since we've just rescued Shiela, let's start with her level, Shiela's Alp. Shiela's Alp has 1 achievement to get as well as 3 eggs, which are all unmissable. Most of the eggs in these character stages are related to escorting characters through the level as you go through it, so they're some of the easiest to obtain in the game. One of the main gimmicks with Spyro 3 are the 4 new playable characters who all have their own unique controls and related challenges. Shiela's main thing is being able to jump super high, but she is quite slow. The achievement in the level, Stomping Target Practice, asks us to head bash every single one of these chests in the level. There's 1 near the start that you can reach with a high jump, 1 left of the cave entrance if you jump and kick these rocks and follow the path through, 2 in a hidden inlet just before you get to Pete's house, 1 on the high ledge in the area with the mushroom houses, and 1 last one past the end portal. After you get the last one, 20 gamer score will be yours. Next up is our first classic Spyro level, Sunny Villa, which has the achievement the Villa Bully for defeating all the coward Rhinox in the level. There are 11 of these guys in the level, and they're super easy to defeat as they don't even attack Spyro and usually just run away to corners or behind bigger enemies. After you defeat the last one, your achievement should pop. Levels in Spyro 3 are a nice mix between the hub worlds and actual worlds of Spyro 2, with several eggs you can obtain through platforming and progress through the level, and then challenges related to one of the game's gimmicks or new characters. Sunny Villa has 1 platforming level with Shiela, which has some very well hidden treasure up in high ledges and tunnels, 1 egg for making a long glide over to some pillars on this high tower, and 1 egg on this little step, 1 egg for making it to the end of the level, and then 2 eggs for a skateboarding challenge. The skateboarding controls in this game are, yeah. So remember how I mentioned those buggy achievements before? Sadly, that lack of polish made it into a lot of the other areas of the game too. Anyway, luckily we don't actually need to get 100% to get all the achievements in this game, so unless you're aiming for absolute perfection, you don't really need to get everything. You can pick or choose what eggs you want to leave behind if you really feel like it. Cloud Spires is our next stop, where we'll be getting 2 eggs for platforming through the level, one here, and one for reaching the end. Then we'll be backtracking to this new whirlwind and doing some tricky glides over to a far platform for another egg. Remember this path for the achievement. 1 egg for a Superfly power-up challenge. 1 egg for torching an egg thief. And 1 egg for escorting 3 seeds to a giant cauldron to make a new sun. Wild. The achievement in this level, Head in the Clouds, is one of the trickier ones earlier on in the game actually. To obtain it, we need to glide for at least 5 seconds and then land on the ground. That means sadly we can't just take a trip off the edge of the stage for the achievement. There are a couple of places you can get this in the level, but I got it by gliding from this ledge on the path towards the 3rd dragon egg that I mentioned. Our 4th level is Molten Crater, which we'll need at least 10 eggs to enter. Sadly, this is the first level we'll need to come back to later to complete, as 2 of the eggs are behind this locked door which won't unlock until we free Sergeant Byrd in World 2. For now there are another 2 eggs for supercharging after egg thieves, and 2 more eggs in the main level, 1 here, and 1 for getting to the end. We'll need to find a key in a locked box to get the achievement here, a key move. The key is located near the end portal of the level here, and the locked box is back at the beginning. I'd recommend going all the way to the end portal and activating it before going back for the box, as it unlocks these grates for a handful of gems and a shortcut. 20 more gamer score and a good amount of gems are our reward for doing this. Seashell Shore, unlocked with 14 eggs, is our last main level of World 1, and it contains 2 eggs for making our way through the main stage, 1 here, and 1 for getting to the end. There's 2 eggs for Shiela to grab whilst destroying a military base. Don't forget that you can just slam the very edges of the turrets in this minigame as well to save time. The 2nd egg is close to the beginning, just turn around and you should be able to find it. 1 egg for surviving a surprisingly fun auto-swimming challenge. And 1 egg and achievement for beating an optional boss, Bluto, whilst trying our hardest to control a submarine boat thing. Stellar. My advice for Bluto is honestly just to tank him and get him done as quickly as you can. Your ammo refills stack and he has no damage cooldown, so just spam away. With that, we've rescued our last friend in World 1 and can take on the boss. But first... oh god, you know what's next. The Speedways are back, and once again they've been given even more content than in Spyro 2. As well as the all-in-one challenge for getting our 4 sets of things, and the hunter-related challenge that we're used to, we also have a 3rd thing to do in all the Speedways. A 3-lap race, which in theory isn't too bad, but... well, maybe it's just me, but I think the flying controls in this game are just real slippery. Like what is happening here? The achievement here, Star Power, is obtainable in this race, and it's for flying through 4 of the speed boost stars in 1 lap. Although this seems like you'd have to go out your way for it, it's actually pretty much needed for winning the race. There are a total of 5 that you can go through every lap, and honestly that's what you should be aiming for to win. But after you careen through your 4th one, you'll have the achievement. Alright, it's time for the first main boss of the game, Buzz. After beating the 5 main levels of World 1, we can take a trip in the balloon to the next hub world, Midday Gardens, but not before we take a quick detour to Buzz's dungeon. Taking off in the balloon gets us the 40 gamer score achievement, Moving Up in the World, which obviously is unmissable. Buzz is a pretty easy boss all things considered, as long as you know his timing, and beating us gets us the unmissable achievement, Buzz Off. He only takes damage by being charged into the lava, and you need to do this 6 times in total to defeat him. The first 2 times, the only thing he will do is charge at you and send you flying back. For the 3rd and 4th hit, after he gets charged, he will surround himself with a flame shield that will drop after a couple of seconds, giving you a small window to hit him. The last 2 times he will sneeze fire at you after he drops his shield, so I would recommend jumping and charging into him to lower your chances of getting hit. After he gets his 6th dunk, you will rescue another egg and get the achievement. We've now reached our second hub world, Midday Gardens, which has another 5 eggs and 1 character to rescue, Sergeant Byrd, which will get us a bird in the hand, and 30 gamer score. We can access the levels Icy Peak, Enchanted Towers after a spitting tutorial, Spooky Swamp after 25 eggs, Bamboo Terrace after 30 eggs, and Country Speedway after 36 eggs, as well as Sergeant Byrd's base, of course. We get 1 egg in the water at the start, 1 egg through this side path in the ice cave, 1 egg for a super flame challenge, 1 egg for catching an egg thief, and 1 egg for climbing this ladder near the Speedway. Finally, 700 gems is what Moneybags is asking for to free Sergeant Byrd, and paying it unlocks our achievement. Sergeant Byrd's base is our first stop in World 2, which has 2 unmissable eggs and 1 extra for freeing every hummingbird, 2 of which are quite well hidden through tunnels, and an achievement for blowing up all the strong chests. Sergeant Byrd's main way of movement is by flying, and attacks through shooting homing rockets. He has some of the more interesting challenges, and most of those are platforming focused, or flying focused I suppose. You can also pick up bombs and go into first person to aim below you, and we'll be using this to get our achievement, Byrd Bombs. The first chest we blow up is near the start of the level, next to a hummingbird. The second one is at the other end of this area, on a high up ledge. And the third chest we need to backtrack to the rectangular rooms just past the start of the stage. The hole this bomb creates also houses a very hidden hummingbird and some treasure, so don't forget those. Now that we have Sergeant Byrd, our next task is some cleanup in World 1, where we can finally return to Molten Crater to get our 2 missing eggs and gems by reuniting some tikis with their heads. But this isn't the only new thing in World 1. Remember that sign I mentioned ages ago? Well, after beating every world boss, a bonus Sparks stage unlocks in the hub. These Sparks levels are pretty basic top-down shooter levels where we collect keys to unlock doors, coloured butterflies for projectile power-ups, and end the level by beating a boss. All of the achievements for these stages are unmissable, as all you need to do is to beat the stage boss. For Crawdad Farm, the achievement is Who's Your Crawdaddy, which makes me very uncomfortable to say out loud at 5 past 10 at night. The boss can be really easily taken out if you save this missile power up for the end and just spam him with the projectiles. His attacks can be strafed around to avoid if you're far enough away from it, or you can just tank them with enough health. Once he's down, we cash out for another 200 gems, 20 gamer score, and 1 egg. With our cleanup done, it's time to get into the meat of World 2, starting with Icy Peak and the achievement Cannon Fodder for blowing up 6 icy things with the cannons in the level. All the main levels in World 2 have got 500 gems in them, so we'll be collecting all of those, as well as 1 egg for reaching Doug at the end of the level, 1 egg for gliding around this corner and following a narrow path, 1 egg for blowing up ice blocks around the world that create whirlwinds, and then from here, following the path we made with them, 2 eggs for another supercharged egg thief race, and finally 1 egg for an escort quest defending this ice skater from a bunch of hockey Rhinox. As I mentioned for Cannon Fodder, there are several cannons across the level that we can use to blow up ice blocks and shoot down birds, and if we do this 6 times, as you can see in the video, our achievement should unlock. This is one of the buggier ones in the game, so if it doesn't pop for you, you might just need to restart the level and pray. Also, while you're here, don't forget about head bashing the cracked ice from this ledge to get some underwater gems, as well as doing this weird glide to get these ones in the supercharge area. I think this was probably one of the last levels I completed as a kid because of these little tricks. Very hidden. Next up is Enchanted Towers, one of my favourite levels to explore in this game because of its unique gimmick. More on that later. We pick up 2 eggs here from another skateboarding minigame. 2 in the main level for some exploration and blowing up a statue of the sorceress. 1 for escorting a lost wolf home by some light puzzle solving involving switches and spitting balls. And finally 1 more for exploring the whole level as Sergeant Byrd, collecting bones just like we did in Ski-Lost Badlands and Spyro 2. Exploring as Sergeant Byrd is also where we'll be picking up the achievement Balloon Buster for destroying all 6 balloon bottles in the level. Although 2 of these are hidden in the skate park here and here, most of the others are still possible to get as Spyro. I think that the intention is that you grab them as our feathered friend, as it's much easier to blast them with the rockets rather than gliding and flaming or spitting rocks as Spyro. But once you grab the last one, another 20 gamer score is yours. Spooky Swamp is next, although it's now not as hard. I still don't like it. Yeah, enough of that. This level's had quite a tweak in difficulty compared to the PS1 original version. Who knows if that's intentional, but I'll take it. For those who don't know what I'm referencing, this Shiela minigame where we escort 2 haiku poets through rocks and mushrooms that they just love walking into is now much easier, as for whatever reason the rocks don't come back anymore, making it much easier to pick up the 2 eggs related to this. As well as this, we'll also be grabbing 1 egg for making it through the level, 1 egg for gliding to this island, 1 egg for gliding to the top of this tree, and 1 egg related with our achievement, Tucked In for a Long Slumber. This is a 2-part achievement. First off, we need to light the 4 tea lights spread across the level, like so. To open up a door just past the end goal. Once we do that, we need to beat the boss Sleepyhead, who throws gators at you in bombs that you can charge back at him. Do that 4 times and the achievement and another egg is yours. Our last main level is Bamboo Terrace, a very cute level that sadly we can't 100% right now, as we need to save our Yeti friend from World 3 to complete it. We could still grab 5 eggs though, 2 for doing some tricky glides to platforms in this section of the level, 1 for reaching the end, 1 for chasing down an egg thief through the whole main level, and 1 for a surprisingly tricky turret section minigame on a boat. We also grabbed the achievement Bottled Curiosity for getting the reward from the question mark bottle in the level, another returning mechanic from Spyro 2. Once you reach the end of the level, you'll notice a yellow bottle on this platform, but when you break it, it teleports. If you keep breaking them until it makes its way back to the start of the level, you get a nice gem reward as well as 20 gamer score. With our main levels done, it's time for our second speedway of the game, Country Speedway, which has our usual time attack challenge, a race against biplanes, and if we go to the big building in the middle of the level, we can talk to Hunter to do an on-rails shooter minigame, saving farmers from space cows and sheep saucers. Of course, obviously. Our achievement, Rocket Racer, will again be getting in the race for firing 5 missiles in 1 race. This race introduces these red stars as well as the speed boost blue ones, which will give Spyro a rocket that you can fire at the other races. There are 4 of these red stars along the course, so you have a lot of leeway with this achievement, so don't stress about going out of your way to grab them all. Our next task is beating the World 2 boss, Spike, who is fairly infamous for being a bit of a roadblock for new players. we make our way to the now operational Whirligig, which gets us a 40 gamer score achievement, One Small Step for Dragon, and head to our encounter. Spike has 3 phases and takes 6 hits like Buzz, but is a lot more offensive, and beating him will now get us the achievement, No Dragon for Lunch today. He starts out by shooting you with his blaster while you charge rocks at him, like the mini-boss from Spooky Swamp almost. After 2 hits, he cracks the floor, which causes fire spouts to randomly appear, which will damage Spyro if he touches them. He also fires twice and can pick up the flame crystals that we use to attack to do a massive flame wave attack thing. After he takes 2 more hits from our own crystal-powered flame attack, he enters his final phase where he will fire 3 shots from his blaster, and if he picks up one of the blue bomb crystals that we can use to attack him, he will do a long homing arc at us. Which I didn't actually manage to catch on footage, never mind. 2 more hits will do him in and gets us the butterfly chasing Monique in our achievement. After some exposition from Bianca and a fully ignored warning, it's time to make a start in World 3, Evening Lake. A mostly underwater hub world despite having no underwater levels in it, never mind. Here we have access to frozen altars, Lost Fleet, Fireworks Factory if we have 50 eggs total, Charmed Ridge if we have 58, Honey Speedway if we have 65, and finally Bentley's Outpost, which will be our start point. There are also 5 eggs here, 1 for breaking open a hidden wall, 1 after getting munched by the whale, nice name on this one, 1 from an invincibility power-up tutorial, another 1 just past here after climbing up a ladder, and then 1 more again just past here for doing a long glide to a tower. We'll be picking up the achievement A Small Cost to Bear for rescuing Bentley the Yeti for 1,000 gems, which rewards us with this amazing line.
It's not just lying around on the ground, is it?
As well as 30 gamer score.
What do I care?
Bentley is personally my least favourite of the playable characters, as his slow movement speed and pitiful jump makes him the least platforming focused of the 4 characters, minus Sparks I suppose. His main abilities are hitting things with his ice club and also a spin move that can deflect projectiles, which I wish was used more in situations, as it's easily his most interesting ability. Opinions aside, here we'll be picking up the usual 3 eggs for making it through the level, a larger total of 600 gems for World 3 levels, and the achievement, it's Totem Destruction for destroying all 8 totems, that's these things. I'll show you in the video where they all are, but they're fairly hard to miss. Most of them have strong chests at the top, but watch out for this one as there's an enemy on top instead. Very cheeky. After we bust apart the last one, the achievement is ours. With Bentley unlocked, we take a quick detour back to Bamboo Terrace to get our final egg and gems for reaching the top of this mountain. No gimmicks here, it's just some more Bentley gameplay. And, since we're in World 2, let's super clear it by beating the second Sparks level Spider Town, which will grab us the Web Begone achievement, 1 egg and 200 treasure. I haven't got much to add to this stage that I didn't say for Crawdad Farm. The main differences here are a bigger focus on different types of enemies and a slightly tougher end boss. His 2 attacks are to spawn several of the basic spider enemies from the stage, and then to spin around the arena clockwise. Same as the Crawdad King, if you conserve your rocket power up from here you can blast through a good chunk of his health bar. Just note that he is invincible as he's spinning around, and will deflect your shots, so only fire after he stops. After a whirligig trip back to Evening Lake, it's time to jump into the only level with water in for our underwater hub world, Lost Fleet. A uniquely designed ship graveyard level with interconnected tunnels going through it, which we can only swim through with the invincibility power-up. Here we'll be grabbing 1 egg for escorting Crazy Ed to his treasure, 1 egg for surfacing at this point in the underwater tunnels, 2 eggs for blasting some subs away with tracking missiles, and 2 eggs for 2 skateboard races, or hoverboard, or whatever this janky ass thing is. God, I hate this minigame. Luckily, our achievement here, Man the Cannons Man, doesn't involve these minigames, but unluckily it's another one of the buggier achievements in the game, and actually I did need to replay the level in order to get it to pop. In theory, you need to use the cannons placed around the level to blast the 7 vultures into next week, but for whatever reason, sometimes it just doesn't work. Some people I've seen speculate that if you just use the top cannon it works fine, but I don't think there's any real technique to it that isn't luck. Anyways, with luck on our side, another 20 gamer score should be yours for the taking. It's also worth noting that you can temporarily lock yourself out of the 2 skateboarding eggs if you don't tackle this level as one of your first ones, as Hunter will be indisposed after clearing a couple of levels in World 3. If this does happen, you can always come back after beating the World 3 boss, so don't fret. Frozen Altars is next on the agenda, which is a neat level that swaps out our flame for an ice breath that freezes enemies, not only incapacitating them and letting us charge them, but also doubling them up as platforms. Super neat. We'll be getting 1 egg for gliding to this far platform early on in the level, 1 egg for reaching the end, 1 egg for precision platforming along some rooftops like we're in Spyro 1, 1 egg for winning a game of cat hockey, don't worry about it, and 2 eggs for an infamous boxing match with Bentley against the Spyro 2 Yeti. Again though, our achievement, a dozen cold ones, has nothing to do with this and only asks us to use our new ice breath to freeze 12 enemies across the level, which, as there are almost 20 enemies across the level, shouldn't be that hard of a task. We get our achievement close to the middle point of the stage. I seem to remember this also being a somewhat buggy achievement, but that was when I was playing it on PS4 and not Xbox. I didn't have any difficulties getting it this time. Next up is one of my favourite levels in the game, Charmed Ridge, and not just because the music is an absolute banger, although it is, don't deny it. Here we'll be picking up 1 egg for backtracking at this point to notice a hidden cave, 1 egg for doing a quick glide and hover to this ledge just past that first egg, 1 egg for letting 2 lovers elope, 1 egg for letting a different 2 lovers enjoy date by blasting 24 cat witches out the sky, and 2 eggs for helping Jack find his golden goose by getting through a stage where we plant beans to turn into platforms. And if all that sounds crazy, here's something even crazier. Charmed Ridge is home to the easiest achievement in the game, the harder they fall, unlocked by defeating a giant enemy. Some of the cat wizards in the level can make the other enemies around them grow, so we can't charge attack them. And all we need to do when this happens is flame said giant enemy like so, and 20 gamer score is ours. There's plenty of places across the level where we can do this, such as the beginning section on the wall, just past here before we get to the Zoe checkpoint, and also along the side path where we get to the Jack and the Golden Goose section. Finishing up our main levels in World 3 is everybody else's favourite level, not mine, I like being a contrarian. Fireworks Factory, a frantic and busy level with respawning enemies. See how easy I can unsell this level? How terrible does that sound? On our to-do list here is picking up 1 egg in this small inlet in the lava lake near the start, 1 egg for getting to the end, 1 egg for going through an enemy gauntlet, and 1 egg and our achievement, Twin Dragon Destruction, for beating the mini-boss in a Super Flight Super Flame arena. There are also 2 more eggs which we have to come back for as we need our final friend from World 4 freed. The Twin Dragons fight is one of the highlights of the game, I think I would say, as there's something about blasting away the segments of these dragons that's just really satisfying to me. The advice I'd give is to focus on 1 dragon at a time, as they do regenerate health slowly over time, and try and predict where they'll fly to shoot them, as they do go faster than you, to prevent you from just trailing them and blasting them away. Once the second dragon goes down, the achievement and an egg is ours.
I fished it out of the molten lava.
As always, before our boss, we head over to our final portal, which brings us to Honey Speedway. 1 time attack challenge and 1 race await us here as always, and also a hunter challenge, but as I said for the Lost Fleet level, Hunter gets kidnapped during World 3, locking us out of his challenges temporarily, so we'll be coming back for that egg. See, look what a good comprehensive guide this is. I absolutely didn't just forget about this egg existing. Our achievement doesn't get locked out though, so we'll still be picking up real star power for flying through 12 blue speed stars during the race. Again, this shouldn't be too hard, and honestly I think it's necessary to do so to win the race, even though this is easily the most lenient race. Regardless, speeding through our 12th star pops the achievement. Our usual 2 end of world achievements are next. 1 giant leap for Dragonkind for hopping in the new mode of transport, which is the rocket the professor has kindly finished for us, and Scorched, which is given to us for beating our next boss, Scorch. Scorch is the ad fight of the game, and he's pretty harmless by himself, as he just sends waves of enemies from previous levels after us, including a mini rematch with the World 1 boss, Buzz, later on into the fight. Luckily for us, Bentley is blasting ammunition into the arena for us, which we use to hurt Scorch and his ads. We get red shots, which is a rapid fire machine gun like shot, and then big green shots. Scorch overall isn't too bad as long as you try and clear the enemies he sends your way as soon as they appear. Also, you don't have to worry about aiming too much as your shots somewhat track him. Like I said, overall this isn't too bad. We finally made it to the last hub world in Midnight Mountain, which is a cool looking world composed of some interconnected plateaus. We can access the final levels in the game from here, which are Crystal Islands, Desert Ruins, Haunted Tomb when we have 70 eggs, Dino Mines for 80 eggs, Harbour Speedway for 90 eggs, the Sorceress's Lair for 100 eggs, which is our final boss, and a mystery portal if we get every collectible. There isn't actually an achievement tied to this 100% reward level as I mentioned earlier, but I'll briefly show you what it's like at the end of the video. The hidden eggs here are obtained by gliding around the rocket building, 1 for chasing down an egg thief across the bridges, 1 for breaking down this wall and gliding to the island, 1 on this ledge opposite Haunted Tomb, and 1 for ground pounding this piece of floor near the Dino Mines portal. We also get the achievement That Monkey's Gonna Make Them Pay, and access to our final new character and his level, Agent 9, and his lab. The gem requirement is 1300 gems, or we can also beat the final boss, both of which unlock the achievement. As always, let's start with the level that we've just unlocked, Agent 9's lab. Agent 9 is the most unique character as he controls like a very basic version of Ratchet from Insomniac's next series, as he's based around strafing and shooting. You also get a decent jump and a first-person shooter mode for precision aiming. He can also pick up bombs and toss them for tougher enemies. 2 of the eggs here are unmissable as they're for progressing through the level, and 1 requires us to toss a bomb through an electric barrier and shoot at some fast water bike riding Rhinox. Someone set us up the bomb as the achievement we'll be grabbing here, in which we need to shoot down all of the 6 balloon vases, as you can see here. They're scattered pretty evenly throughout the level, with the first one being just past the first electric gate. Number 2 is in the round room where the shooting gallery section is. Number 3 and 4 are in the area past the bird nests where you pick up the bombs. And the final 2 are in the area with the water bike Rhinox shooting challenge. Blast the last one and the achievement will pop. Don't forget about the strong chest at the very beginning as well, and the skill point that you can grab for blowing up all the weird pineapple trees. With all of the characters unlocked and Hunter saved, we are now able to super clear World 3, starting with finishing up Fireworks Factory with a really cool Doom-inspired first-person shooter segment where we make our way into and out of some Rhinoc-infested rooms for 2 eggs and the remaining treasure. And then Hunter's challenge from Honey Speedway, where we speed away from a sheep saucer, making sure to avoid as many rocks and logs as we can. We also hit up Starfish Reef, the 3rd Sparks level, to grab the usual egg and 200 treasure, and Manta Erayser, terrible pun, for beating the boss of the level. Again, not much to add on the level itself. The main new gimmick here are enemies that split into smaller enemies when damaged enough, which is also the gimmick that the boss has. The Manta Ray will shoot non-homing exploding mines at you, and then at half health will split into 2 rays that will spawn some smaller ray enemies that chase you down. This fight can be quite tricky if you don't have any special shots, but the one I find most useful for this fight is the Rapid Wave Shot power-up that you can see me using. Once you shred the rays, the egg and achievement will be yours. Also, don't forget about this small path that you unlock back to the beginning of the level after you beat the boss for the remaining treasure. Back to World 4, it's time to start our last levels of the game, starting with Crystal Islands, a magical set of islands which gives me almost a Spyro 1 vibe with how there are high up roofs with gems and collectibles on. The World 4 levels, including Agent 9's lab, all have a whopping 700 gems in them, as well as the usual 6 eggs. Here we'll be getting 1 egg for gliding off the side here, 1 egg for beating the level, 1 egg for surviving a treacherous slide challenge, 1 egg for whacking some moles as Bentley, 1 egg for chasing down an egg thief plane, and 1 egg for landing on top of this cave entrance with the Superflight power-up. We'll also be earning the Vanishing Act achievement for defeating all 6 crystal bears, that's the big blue guys. They're all in the first 2/3 of the level, so luckily there aren't any hidden away. And also, they're really difficult to miss. Defeat the last one and the achievement will eventually pop. Desert Ruins is up next, which is home to the Butterfly Hunter achievement for breaking both of the Butterfly 1-up jars. The first one is just up this ladder here and past the furnace enemy. Then the second one is further into the level, just before the end portal. If you climb up this long ladder and follow the edge around to where the hole is, look off to the left and glide over to this thin ledge. Break it open and grab another 20 gamer score. For the eggs, there is one just past the first butterfly jar if you glide over to the green hand and continue on. Another egg if from here you glide into the cave and follow it through. Don't forget about this breakable wall, by the way. 2 eggs are available for a side-scrolling segment as Shiela, 1 egg for beating the level, and then 1 egg for blasting a load of Rhinox underwater on an armed Manta Ray. Our next stop is Haunted Tomb, where we'll be grabbing 1 egg on a ledge past 2 enemies, 1 egg for solving a riddle at the end portal, 1 egg for another slide challenge, 2 eggs for a tank shooter minigame, 1 egg for defeating several rooms of enemies as Ancient 9, and the achievement, a Scarcopha-Kinda guy, another terrible pun, for blowing up all of the sarcophagi. Throughout the stage there are these mummy enemies that bust out of the golden sarcophagi near them and will respawn if we don't destroy them. The only way to deal with them is to pick up the exploding bombs the big golems throw at you, or the ones that drop out of the sky, I guess. I don't know where these ones are coming from. After they settle on the ground and spit them at the sarcophagi. There are a total of 7 that I'm showing you in the video right now that you need to destroy, and as a note, the ones in the Agent 9 minigame don't count towards this achievement. Only 1 proper level of the trilogy left now, and it's Dino Mines, a cowboy western themed level. Here we'll be finding 1 egg right at the start by gliding around this building to grab the best named dragon, 1 egg behind a breakable wall in the underwater segment, 1 egg for reaching the deputy in the jail, 1 egg for racing down a collapsing underwater mineshaft, and 2 eggs from a rail shooter segment as Agent 9, 1 for beating it, and 1 for coming back after we've beaten it to grab gems and jump over this little counter for a very well hidden egg. Also in the Agent 9 minigame, we'll be trying to get the achievement, sorry for this, nice shooting ticks, for defeating an enemy with a ricochet shot. The easiest place I've found to reliably do this is the indoor segment, as you can aim at this door frame to bounce a shot off the blue dino that comes through it, but there's loads of places you can't get it. Our final Speedway is next, and it lives up to the challenge that you'd expect. Harbour Speedway, as well as the usual tricky race and time attack challenge, has an achievement for just finding Hunter called, well, Hunt for Hunter. I still don't think he's as difficult to find as he was in Icy Speedway and Spyro 2, but he's hiding out in the lighthouse. Talk to him to grab the achievement and then complete his pretty easy minigame of following the smoke rings from a sheep saucer before it crashes onto the ship. With all of the levels 100%ed for now, we finally move on to our final boss fight against the Sorceress, who us beating will get us the 80 gamer score achievement, Sorceress Down. She has a lot of the same attacks that Ripto did in Spyro 2, including chasing after you and hitting you with her staff, throwing a slightly homing fireball at you, and also throwing some small AoE electric orbs. Our way of attacking this time is a range of vehicles such as turrets, tanks and saucers, some of which are better than others. As the fight goes on, she will throw more and more electric orbs at you, but honestly that's about it. After her last hit, we'll have beaten the game and got our achievement. Congrats! You've beaten Spyro 3. Almost. After our credits roll and we get dropped back into Midnight Mountain, you can find money bags where the egg thief originally was. This is where we'll be grabbing the achievement, 8,000 Reasons to Kick Butt. He'll mention that he's found one of the dragon eggs and will try and run off of it, so, of course, we can give chase and beat and flame the stuffing out of him to get it back, and every gem that we've given to him over the course of the game. Once we've got back all 8,000 gems for a new total of 14,800, we'll grab the egg and our achievement, which leaves us with one more to go. Debugging is that achievement, and it's unlocked by beating the last Sparks level, Bugbot Factory. A pretty anticlimactic final achievement I suppose, but hey ho. Again, I don't really have anything to say about this level. The boss Metapede is probably the hardest Sparks boss on account of his beefy health bar and fast movement, but he's far from hard. His only real attack is contact damage and splitting apart. Once you've blown his last segment away, the final egg and achievement are yours. Well, almost the final egg. Your reward for getting all 149 dragon eggs and 15,000 treasure is the Super Bonus Round stage, a collection of harder versions of minigames from the game and egg thief challenges. For every 1,000 eggs that you collect in the level, a new door will open. The challenges are chasing down several egg thieves in the main level, blasting 7 more submarines in the Lost Fleet sub, another hoverboard race, also like the Lost Fleet one, and then a Super Flight, Super Flame power-up challenge, where you need to hunt down some saucers, similar to the orb challenge from Metropolis in Spyro 2. After all of this, you get to have a rematch against the sorceress, who's kitted out with her own saucer now. The fight again isn't too hard and is pretty easily cheesed if you stick close to her on whatever side she's turning towards and continuously fire in front of her. After a while she'll speed ahead and spin around to fire at you, so be ready to dodge that and then continue the previous shooting technique. If you do this, she should go down pretty quickly and reward you with a final dragon egg and baby dragon number 150 and 151. Absolutely adorable. With that, we have finally 100% completed not only Spyro 3, but the whole Reignited trilogy. Although I have my gripes with the polish of the remaster of the third game, overall I'm really happy with this trilogy, and that it got made, as these are some of my favourite platformers and collectathons out there, and I really think that the new achievements that they added add a good new level of challenge and replayability to the games. They could have just phoned it in and made some of the skill points from 2 and 3 the achievements, but I'm really glad that they didn't, as some of them... oh boy, that would have been rough. All that said, thank you very much for joining me in this video, and hey, if this is the first video of mine that you've watched, feel free to watch my other 2 videos in the Reignited trilogy. Or, if you have, please stick around for my next video and subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping to make some more platforming game achievement playthroughs, so feel free to give me any suggestions on what you think would be fun to watch. I think I know what I'm going to do next, but I'm open to suggestions. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you all in the next one.
Come on, Spyro, take a little break. Let's watch the show.